Sure? Okay. Let's set it up first. She can be a bit to handle. For individuals, communications, people decide.
Permanent Secretary, Rural and Maritime and National Disaster Management and Meteorological Office, representatives from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs, representatives from the European Union, representatives from the Secretariat of Pacific Community, representative from UNICEF, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Mula Vinaka, and a very good day to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very much pleased to share some remarks on behalf of my ministry on this occasion to the relaunch of the Get Ready Disasters Happen campaign. It goes without saying that the government of Fiji is committed to improving disaster preparedness throughout the nation. We aim to ensure that everyone, young or old, man or woman, able or disabled, sick or healthy, knows how to protect themselves and others during, before, during and after a disaster. When disaster strikes, people rightly expect the government to be there to assist. But every one of us also has a responsibility to take steps to protect ourselves, our families, our possessions, and our communities, whether we live in the city, town, or village. Just yesterday, I had the privilege to return from Koro Island, which I'm sure you all know was one of the areas that was worst affected by TC Winston. The havoc and destruction experienced by that community is something that those of us who were not there at that time would struggle to imagine. And yet, while there are still many visible reminders of Winston's legacy, I could not help but be impressed by the changes that have occurred in Koro since my last visit to Koro was just over a year ago. Many islanders have set about rebuilding their homes and their lives with generous support from our development partners. Schools, healthcare facilities, and other essential infrastructure are being restored or replaced. Crucially, the principle of building back better is ensuring that if the unthinkable should happen and Koro again finds itself in the path of destructive weather events, we believe the impacts would be less severe with the building back better strategy. The strength and resilience shown by the people of Koro is admirable, and I believe typical of every Fijian in general. We are survivors. We don't give up, and we will not be weakened by any misfortune that comes our way. One of the most recurrent topics of discussion post TC Winston was the need to provide clear, timely, and unambiguous messages that could be easily received, understood, and acted upon by all members of the public. Effective communication at all levels of our society is a vital element in disaster preparedness and response. The Get Ready Disaster Happen campaign is a multimedia initiative that was initially developed and rolled out in 2013 by the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, the National Disaster Management Office, and UNICEF with support from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. As a result of key lessons we learned from the initial campaign and the experiences we gained following Tropical Cyclone Winston, the campaign materials have been updated and revised. The revised Get Ready Disasters Happen package was developed by the staff from the Ministry of Health and Medical Services and the National Disaster Management Office with extensive support and assistance from our partners. I take this opportunity to thank, in particular, the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the European Union for their financial support, as well as UNICEF and SPC who provided invaluable technical and communication advice. This campaign promotes key concepts consistently throughout standardized messaging. The campaign is based on 3 key disaster phases: prepare, stay safe, and recover. The campaign for prepare addresses the need for people to assemble their own emergency kits, to know the emergency centers and context, to prepare their homes, and to know how they would stay informed and in touch when faced with any disaster. One further key element of prepare phase is to ensure that our children are fully immunized to protect them against any possible post-disaster outbreaks of diseases. The key message for the stay safe phase includes the need for emotional support, and stay informed. People need to ensure that water sanitation and hygiene standards are met and that they continue to ensure food and nutrition safety. Most important is the need to check the surroundings for any risks. The final theme on recover discusses water, sanitation and hygiene together with waste removal issues. It further emphasizes the need to consider nutrition and food safety, to seek early medical attention if necessary, and to have access to mental and psychosocial support for children and adults if and when it is needed. The messages are focused on ensuring that our communities and especially our children are safe at all times. I believe that good preparedness and response will lead to fewer injuries and lives lost, fewer outbreaks of diseases and less damage to our properties. With climate change now being a lived reality and bringing an increase in natural disasters, addressing disaster preparedness is both necessary and an economic priority. I'm so grateful to all the technical teams, partners and agencies for their roles in redeveloping this package. And I urge everyone to take heed of emergency preparedness, response and recovery messages which it seeks to convey. To be proactive and to ensure that we as a nation are ready for any disaster as we've already entered the disaster period. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. With these words, I'm also pleased to say that as we enter the festive season, we all need to be proactive. We all need to take care of ourselves, our families, our health, etc. Christmas and New Year mostly brings in a lot of feastings and merrymakings. Please enjoy, eat moderately, and if you do go overboard, burn those calories off. And I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous New Year. And may the year 2018 bring us much blessings and joy to all our Fijians. So Merry Christmas, Fiji.
The Honourable Minister for Health and Medical Services, representatives from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs, representatives from the European Union, Secretariat of the Pacific Community, representatives from UNICEF, distinguished guests, and members of the media. Nisambula Vinaka, and a very good morning to you all. Firstly, I thank the Minister for Health and Medical Services for reassuring us again this morning of government's commitment to improving disaster preparedness, and I fully echo her statements this morning. After previewing the final products earlier this week, I believe we should all be excited to be part of the relaunch of the Get Ready Disasters Happen campaign. I'm excited and expectant because it is one of the largest and most comprehensive media packages that have been put together in Fiji to encourage all Fijians to prepare better and safely recover from disasters. As Honourable Minister has alluded to in the Get Ready Disasters Happen campaign, it was initially rolled out in 2013 following a review through both qualitative and quantitative analysis coupled with lessons learned from Cyclone Winston. Communications officials behind this campaign decided to revamp the campaign to ensure positive behavioral changes in disaster preparedness that would take place. From the initial 10 standardized messages of the campaign, we've developed 15 strategic messages covering all periods of preparedness, response, and recovery for this new version. Today I can say that this revamped mass media campaign is well researched, it is widespread, inclusive, practical, and very ambitious. From today, for initial period of 1 month, you will be watching, hearing, and reading Get Ready Disasters Happen campaign materials on our radio, television, social media, and also on print media. The package includes 54 unique radio ads, 9 television ads, 3 brochures, a social media component, SMS messaging, a poster, fridge magnet, a contact card, and a website. Radio ads, television ads, and brochures are translated into 3 different languages, Itoke, Hindi, and English. The specificity and design of the media products is to ensure that we cover all our bases, reach as many people as possible, and build a more knowledgeable, disaster-ready Fiji. The development of this mass media package has not been an overnight process. Officials from the NDMO, the Ministry of Health, have collaborated extensively with UNICEF and SPC, who have provided valuable technical communication support. Under the under the Natural Disaster Management Act of 1998, the NDM Office is mandated to implement, organize and coordinate public awareness activities for disaster risk management. This is continually realized today because of partnerships such as those with UNICEF and SPC have tremendous positive impact on the agenda for resilience in Fiji. The launch today of the Get Ready Disasters Happen campaign is timely as the second month of the current cyclone season comes to an end. While we may say it over and over again, we will keep saying it, preparedness minimizes risks. Preparedness minimizes risks to life, health, and property. Taking simple acts of preparation, now such as preparing an emergency kit, memorizing emergency numbers, or trimming trees next to homes or power lines can go a long way. As the Permanent Secretary responsible for disaster management and meteorological services, I encourage all Fijians, young and old, to remain prepared this festive season. Yesterday, our weather forecasters issued heavy rain and strong wind warnings for the whole country, as a tropical depression is expected to affect the Fiji group this Christmas weekend. To that I say, get ready, disasters happen. In conclusion, I wish to thank and congratulate the Get Ready Disasters Happen Working Group, inclusive of officials from the NDMO, Ministry of Health, UNICEF, SPC, and also Pacifica Communications, who are here today for a job well done. I look forward to reading the monitoring reports on the success of this campaign and how we can continuously better use strategic communications for positive behavioral change in disaster preparation. I wish you all a Merry Christmas